Just here with my boy Austin, he's come to the property. Come on.
Yeah, man.
You'll show them the closing line.
There's a lot to unpack here. First and foremost, yeah, DC Met and network events, man. You gotta get outside, man, meet new people, you get me, bro. But also, who's doing what in your circle, man? Who's doing what in your circle, man? You get me? Who's doing what in your circle? My circle inspires me every single day, bro. Who inspires you in your circle? If you know what a circle inspires you, you're in a cage, bro. Trust me. Captain, bro.
100, man, 100. Literally, your network is your network. The people, you never know who you're gonna meet. Even your network's your network. Who you meet can inspire you too. They might know someone that can help you on your journey also.
But also, not just that, yeah, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. You get me? This guy's self-funded this property, but it's about his links he's made just helped him, one, acquire knowledge, and two, get the money as well, man. So, listen, it's not about who you know, it's about what you know. So it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you as well. Bet that man's.
100. Yes, my peoples, yo, ZK. I'm literally at one of my property projects right now, which I'm going to show you lot. I've just done a rip out on this. I'm going to show you how we've done it, the first stage of a property project, so see how a refurbishment's done. So a lot of people talk about refurbs, but what does it actually look like during the refurb? What does it look through like different stages? If you watch this video, watch my content, subscribe, you're going to see this project beginning to end. You know what? I love opening the doors to a project. It's just a self-achievement, do you know what I mean? When you open the doors, you just see the work being done, and even like it smells a bit gritty. There's the smell of money. Sometimes I say like one man's dirt is another man's treasure. So a lot of people strip of this property. To me, all I see is money and the cash notes. Yeah, let me walk through it now. Yeah, welcome to the property. Here, so as you can see, this is all the materials here. We've not actually got a skip yet, but all of this here is going to get dashed into a skip. We've literally ripped everything out of this property. So if you look here, all this wallpaper's been ripped out, that's been ripped out, this railing's getting ripped out. Basically everything's getting ripped out. The socket is going to be new, and yeah, that's it here. The electrics is working luckily, but this little light here, I'm going to rip that out too because I ain't a fan of that. Yeah, so this little beautiful property here I've actually purchased for 160. We anticipate the gross development value to 250. We spent 30 grand on a refurb to make this look all beautiful, and we also spent 24k on a lease extension, which is the main driver of this property. So this property was actually purchased by someone that passed away. So as you can see, we've got this little bit here, which sometimes you can see little things there because it was an elderly person. That's going to be ripped out. So there was an extra banister here, which you can see, but obviously ripping it out that caused damage to the walls. We're going to get that sorted. We're going to rip that also. Useful if you got down, the carpets be ripped out. More or less everything's been ripped out. So yeah, this is the corridor right here. Again, everything's been ripped out. Everything's going to look all good after. We've got this lighting here which we're going to replace too. Like, I really can't wait to show you how this will look like when everything's done. Got my build at the back just doing this bit. So here's our bathroom. So with properties, they say the two most important rooms is your bathroom and your kitchen. The kitchen or bathroom is what sells the property. So right here you can see we've got the old bath, what do you call these?
It's a sink.
Sink, that's it, I've lost the plot. The old sink. This as well, I'm going to change the radiator. I'm going to get Pablo to explain later. My builder, I call him Magic Man, explain what we can do with this radiator. Yeah, this is the bathroom. We've got the kitchen. Now luckily this boiler here is still working. The boiler's been quite pricey, but it's something that's essential to property, obviously, because you want hot water to have a warm bath and all of that. So personally speaking, I think the best boiler you can get is Worcester, but as we've got a working boiler here and for cost, we'll actually keep this existing boiler. But all this kitchen here is going to get ripped out as well. As again, I'm going to keep saying rip out because this stage is called the rip out. Everything in the property gets ripped out and you start again on a blank canvas. So yeah, right here, I'm going to give them a little promotion that's outer construction. They're the ones helping me with this, so yeah, give them a shout if you want to do a refurb. Pablo will be seeing in a second. He's the magic man and he's going to show you what he's done today. This is the old radiator here which we ripped out again. Rip out and rip out. We're going to get a vertical radiator somewhere along this wall as well, and everything being ripped out. Here you can see the chimney breast here, which is a bit battered and bruised, but we're going to cover this up too. We're going to get new doors, so you can see the old doors there. And also these walls here are not plastered, so it's so smooth. Right now you can see a bit of damage and stuff, but soon it's going to be all smooth. It's going to be a white, and we're going to get a grey feature wall. But I'm two minds where to put this grey feature wall, so I'm thinking either put a grey feature wall here or there, Reason being is you're going to get a grey vertical radiator there, so they might stand in there. Or if you get a grey feature wall there, it's a case that when you walk into the property, you're going to go, oh, like that. We're going to put it in a position where it has a bit of shock factor. So if you walk through here, I'm going to put a grey feature wall, so you walk in, you sit down, or at any stage you'll turn around and you say bang, grey feature wall there, and that's just going to stand out. When I go to properties, I do two weird things. One thing I do is I also knock on walls a lot. The reason I knock on walls is to see if it's a load bearing wall or non-load bearing wall. That's the proper words. So non-load bearing wall is when you knock on it, it'll be hollow, so that means you can knock it down, which is not what we're going to do today, but that can be helpful to anyone that's looking to get in property. And sometimes you knock it and it don't seem hollow, that means that wall's got to stay. That's a little tip for people that are thinking about reconfiguring properties. So one thing about properties is sometimes when everything's all done, it can look a bit complicated. So everything's got to run somewhere. So as you can see here, you've got the socket, and obviously behind the socket, you're going to need wires running somewhere. So usually the wires are sometimes behind walls and things like that. It's more easy to see when everything's ripped out like we have now. So usually when you see a property all ripped out like it is now, blank canvas, it's easy to see what's behind the scenes, the dirtiness. So right now, as you can see, if you look there, you can see the pipework for the radiator, or the start bit where the pipework is connected for the radiator. It's not actually connected now, but usually the pipework is underneath. Well, for flooring like this is underneath, but for concrete flooring usually is run across the walls. Right now I'm with the magic man Pablo. He's actually that's it. He's actually drawn us some sketches to help us plan out what we do the property. Yeah. I'll show you guys that right now.
So this is our electrical layout. We have an existing. So this is the existing, that's the ground floor. This is our first floor, so that's the lounge, the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom. And this is existing stuff. All my marks, my markups. So the red X's highlight spotlights. My blue X's highlight double sockets. So we're gonna have a double socket here. I've just spray painted it. So DS means double socket. And then above the double socket, we're gonna have dimmers, so light switch on either side of the bed. And also over here, we're gonna have another double socket in case someone wants to have like a lamp or something, so there's more options. And also here we're gonna have dimmers. So that's it. Just marking up our electrical stuff, where our lighting's gonna go and our power.
And basically you're gonna turn that into reality.
Yeah, so after this is our little markup. We're gonna produce another drawing that is a bit more specialized than this.
Do you lose keys a lot?
I lose keys all the time, you know. All the time.
Don't worry, when you have all your properties, like your 15 properties all at once,
Oh man.
you have people that control your keys.
I hope so. It's needed. Right now we're going to go to the garden. So this garden is actually situated in the back of the property. The front garden is actually the property below, and the one below that's mine. So I'll just give you a quick view of that. So literally go right through this corridor here. Go straight down. I'm going to show you. When I mean maze, I'm telling you this is a maze. Massive maze. I don't even know where to step, but this is our garden. All of this here. So one little key thing about property is you always got to keep following up on the property. So the property I've just purchased now was actually sold. So when you go to, well, not sold, it was going through the legals. So when you go through Rightmove, you sometimes see something called sold STC. If you see a viable property that says that, call the agent and keep following up. Keep calling them every 3 weeks, whatever, saying, is that property falling through? Is that property falling through? So the whole backstory how I got this property is actually I had another property agreed in Croydon. So I got the offer accepted on that property, and not last minute, so I had the offer accepted. I was telling my friends, yeah, I've purchased a new property, all gassed. Then a week later I got gazumped. But luckily, this property that I've purchased is one I was following up on. So every 3 weeks I was calling the agent saying, is the property falling through? Is the property falling through? Then miraculously the property decided to fall through. The same day I've lost the property in Croydon. So boom, I came to the property, looked at the numbers, looked at if it all makes sense if I extend the lease. Then boom, I got the keys in my hand. So one big thing in property is always follow up. When you see them sold STC properties, don't see it as a no, see it as a maybe. Keep calling the agent until it falls through, because 1 in 3 properties actually fall through. And with short lease properties, the number's actually higher, the amount that falls through. So any maybes is an opportunity. Don't walk away from everything. Make sure you've got a long follow-up leads and you're calling agents regularly, saying one, has properties fallen through, or two, has any new properties come in the market. So one key question to always ask the agent when they're viewing is, do you have any other properties, or do you have any ones being valued that's not on Rightmove yet? Because if you can see that property before anyone else, you've got the money in the bag. So sold STC means sold subject to contract. So when you actually get an offer accepted on a property, it's not actually yours till you go through the legals of it, and the legals can take a while. So during the whole process of the legals, which is STC, sold STC, the property is not actually purchased, therefore it's not gone yet. So what you do with properties like that is you got to make sure you keep following up. Those properties can be gold, because when a property is just falling through, the landlord or property owners will be so stressed about selling that property, he may be more open to taking a lower offer, and that gives you more leverage. So like I said, when you see the sold STC properties, do not look away. When you go on Rightmove, you make sure you tick that button, sold STC, because there is money there.
If you're just starting out in property, what would you say is the best strategy?
So it's all dependent on your situation. So what my situation would be when I started may be different to yours. So you got to think about what your end goals are and work backwards. Just stop and think to yourself, what type of lifestyle are you trying to live? And you got to work like that. For example, how much holidays you want to go a year, what kind of clothes you want to wear, what experiences you want to do, because you're not just investing in property for the money, it's what the money provides you with. So say for example, if you had low startup costs and you want high cash flow quick, rent to rent's making sense. If you actually like the idea of acquiring a property and maybe got a bit more funds to play with, BRR makes sense. If you're looking to grow your capital like the property here, flipping makes sense. Also depends on your ages as well. So say if you're looking for retirement or looking to leave your job quicker, maybe rent to rent makes sense if you want a bit of early retirement, or rent to SA. Depends on your location as well and where you want to travel. So it's not about what's the best strategy, it's about what's your situation, how that strategy tailors to you.
Should you invest in north or south?
So it's all dependent as well on what your end goals are. Everything you do in property, anything in life, you gotta have the end goal in mind. And there's pros and cons with both, and there's no right or wrong answer. Preferably, I prefer the south, but other people prefer the north. The pros with the north is lower capital to get started, but however, the growth in those areas ain't as great. Down south, it takes a lot more capital, but there's more growth. So it depends what you want. Do you want lower costs to get in, or do you want higher growth?
Can you tell a good deal from a bad one?
Due diligence, due diligence, due diligence. In property, you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. Before you even think of submitting an offer, everything should stack up. So in times like this, you should be stress testing your property in case of any price reductions. Right now, a 10% margin is a good margin to have. On top of that as well, you should have multiple exit strategies, because hypothetically, if you're thinking about flipping a property and things go wrong, you can also refinance or have other alternatives what you can do to protect yourself.
Do you think property prices are going to crash?
So what I think is going to happen is something you shouldn't take as facts, because it's just my opinion, it's just speculative. Personally, I do not think we're going to see a property crash. I think we do see something called a property correction. Now the difference between a crash and a correction is when we see price reduction in prices of 10% in a 52-week period, or anything below that. Anything above 10% is a property crash. So what I'll do right now if I was trying to do property deals is I'll factor that in. So every property, if I think a property's been worth 250 grand, I'll subtract 10% and work on those numbers. That way you're more protected in times like this. So in times like this, don't be scared. This is the opportunity. Remember the magic number 10, and that's how you work.
How do you find the power to eat?
Recommendations. Sometimes with checker trades, people can fake reviews and things like that. Actually, when you're finding these people, actually do a bit of DD, due diligence. That's a magic word, due diligence. So go for recommendations of people that actually used it and maybe see their work. That's more specifically with builders. Also with solicitors, go with people that have used them, because a solicitor can drag your process of buying the legal process of buying a property or make it quick. Also with mortgage brokers, it's the same. A good mortgage broker is valuable as anything. So go with recommendations for everything.
How can I learn about property?
With property, we're in an age of information overload. So if you want to learn about property, you're literally in the best time. So there's countless of books you can read, there's podcasts, even my YouTube video here. You can even do something called Earn What You Learn, which is something I'm doing now. So if anyone's interested in that, just message me. Networking is another thing. You never know who you're gonna meet. A big saying I say is, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. So the more people you talk to, anyone property related, can teach you anything. Even me, I learn gems by talking to people. Someone will always know something that you don't know.
If I had a lump sum of money and I didn't have any time, how would I invest?
Well, there's multiple things you can invest in. There's stocks, there's crypto, there's commodities like gold and silver. If I'm honest with you, I'm not an expert in all of that, so I wouldn't really want to recommend that. But I own crypto personally, I own stocks. But another smart thing that people are doing is to do something called peer-to-peer lending, is when they're investing in others' deals. So right now we can see crypto going a bit down with stocks. You've got a bit of uncertainty of what's going to happen. But peer-to-peer lending is another way to diversify your money. So you've got it written in a contract, you're going to get 10% back or 12% back depending on how much you invest. And that's like I offer as well if anyone wants to diversify their money.
Where do you find deals?
Where you find deals, there's deals everywhere. There's multiple ways of finding deals. You've got newslettering, direct to vendor, Rightmove, Zoopla, auction. There's even just your network and just talking to people. Everyone's got a property to sell. And just by talking to people you find out things. But your main best friend will be estate agents. Estate agents are the gatekeeper to deals. If you keep the estate agents sweet, you're gonna be sweet.
How do I make money from a property I already own when I don't have time?
There's multiple ways you can make money in these scenarios, but the best thing you can do is find a good property manager. And property managers can save you a lot of time, a lot of hassle, and a lot of drama. Obviously, we're trying to make passive income, not active income. We're trying to buy our property and forget about it. One good property management company I do know of is Rache Estates. So anyone that's got a property they need to get managed, just pick me up and I'll tell you about Rache Estates and you lot can get working.